Things are finally starting to simmer down in the Big Brother house after a long, exhausting week of gameplay, but don't worry, there are still plenty of rivalries and arguments happening that's keeping the game going. Rachel has just been getting into it with people left and right, like it seems like she just will not be able to catch a break in this house, but at the same time, all that stuff is still making things very fun and exciting. There are a few things to go over today, including where the house stands heading into the vote, but of course, before I get into all that, I'm gonna ask if you would please hit that subscribe button. Trust me, if you are not keeping up with the live feeds, then you are really missing out because a lot of the times they're more exciting than the actual show itself. And here on my channel, I like to give quick recaps on what actually goes on in the house day to day so that you can stay updated. Because again, the show just does not cover everything. So if you are someone who does want a deeper dive into Big Brother, then this is the place you want to be. Now, let's get started. So when we last left off, Katherine was just put on the block by Vince, officially setting our nominees for the week. It looks like Vince had officially decided to side with the judges, leaving him in sort of an awkward spot because he's definitely not on the top of this alliance. But hey, at least they're not his enemies either, and because of his decisions this week, he may be able to ride it out with them for a few more weeks at least. Now, out of all of the nominees, Ava's the one who is campaigning the least by far. She honestly normally just doesn't play too hard in general, but in this case, she is looking like the most safe person no matter who she sits next to on the block. That's pretty much been the case all week, so Ava is pretty much chilling and again, just not campaigning that much at all, which I don't really love. I would definitely love to see a world where Ava is a more active game player, but honestly at this point, I just don't think we're gonna get it. So it seems like the only real drama with this vote is if it ends up coming to Kelley versus Katherine. Now, Katherine is starting to campaign for herself a little bit. She finally goes to talk to Vince for the first time since nominations, and she kind of just gets to air out some of the stuff that she's been thinking.
This past week, I just have been constantly fucking lied to, and you did the same thing. You said I wasn't a thought on your mind as nominations. You needed 5 people. I wasn't any of those people, and now I'm the renom.
Maybe I got scared into doing something, which is a weak-ass move and excuse.
It's fine. I'm not asking for that. I'm just, trying to, explain, why I'm not even just, being a bad sport about being on the block. I'm just, really.
She is clearly frustrated with Vince, but overall, she's actually pretty calm and collected on the block. I was actually pretty surprised. And I think her overall chillness is actually probably a good thing, especially if she's doing this with Vince, who could potentially be a tie-breaking vote. Katherine has also been talking to people like Rachel and Mickey a little bit more, even though there's definitely still beef between all of these ladies. Rachel and Mickey would still rather Katherine stay over Kelley overall, so I think they're just prepping for her to still be in the house. Now, Kelley is also starting to campaign for herself, but she is just going to be a lot more dramatic with it. Kelley is just the type of player who pretty much all season long just comes up with these unrealistic and kind of dumb ideas just to be edgy, like volunteering for the block and not using the veto on yourself and telling other people not to use the veto on themselves. And now, for whatever reason, she seems to think that she would have the votes to stay against Ava.
But you think Mickey would upset Will by taking out Ava? As the vote? Actually, well, that's not even the swing vote, because really Vince would then be. But she would definitely put.
If we can pull a Rachel and convince her that Morgan's going to.
Bro. Yo, if you fucking pull that off, Kelley.
Now, I personally don't see a chance in hell that Kelley would ever stay, especially over Ava. But you know what? I'm just going to let Kelley have it and live in her little fantasy world. Even if Kelley is up on the block against Katherine, right now it does not look like she'd have the votes to stay. Kelley has just stirred up way too much shit for pretty much no reason at all the entire game. And it's seeming like the only person who would really consider keeping her over Katherine is Morgan. Her argument is that Katherine is a slightly better social player and that Kelley is someone who is just going to be very anti-Rachel, both in the game and in the jury. And while that stuff is true, on the other hand, I still just think it's way too late for Kelley. Like, she's just messed up way too much. So Morgan has been trying to pitch this idea to the judges, but she just keeps on running into walls and not making any progress.
Let's just say right now, finale's happening, we're in jury, Rachel's up at the end with somebody, and we're going off of what they said. 2 people who would vote to keep too far ahead. Actually, just hear me out, please. Please. Like, Vince knows how I function. We talk about everything that comes to the plate because you have to. Okay. Because this is a deciding factor on what could end up changing the trajectory of this game. So you have to.
I honestly think this vote will not change the trajectory of the game.
I am also at the point where I'm just ready for Kelley to go, to be honest. I think that she thinks that her weird, chaotic gameplay is fun to watch, but in reality, it's just taking away from the game, if you ask me. She also just likes to play the victim a lot, which can just get annoying to watch. Like, she'll instigate and lie and just start rumors on purpose, but when the repercussions come, then she just wants to cry. A recent example of this happened earlier this week when her and Rachel ended up getting into it over something stupid. I'm not even sure exactly what happened, but basically Kelley was spreading rumors about how Rachel had snatched a drink out of Vince's hand or something like that. And there was also something about Rachel like making a face or something like that. Again, I don't exactly know the details, but I just know that it was something petty and dumb. Eventually, Rachel finds out that Kelley has just been talking like shit about her, and so Rachel decides that she just doesn't want to be fake with Kelley and play nice or give her fake hugs.
Rachel?
Oh, that's okay. I don't need a hug.
Why? What's wrong?
I don't want a hug. That's nothing wrong with that.
What did I do?
I'm allowed to not have a hug.
You guys know what I did?
I don't think anyone said. I just didn't want a hug.
From me? Specifically?
I
You
just
don't
don't
want
want
me
a hug,
to sit
Kelley.
over here and... Is it because I won't clean?
Yes, Kelley, that's exactly what it is. It's because you're not cleaning.
So now Kelley is all of a sudden acting like her feelings are hurt because Rachel doesn't want to be her friend or be nice to her. Even though Kelley was the one who literally started all of this for no reason, she instead is just going to go and cry about it and kind of play the victim.
Rachel,
What happened? What'd she do?
she's so mean. I've never been talked to that way.
What did she do? What'd she do?
I went over to hang out with them in the hammock. And she sat down in the hammock and she said, "This spot's taken, Kelley. You can't sit here with us."
Stuff like this is really the main reason why a lot of us live feeders just don't really mess with Kelley like that, because she'll go and she'll do all this, but then she has the nerve to turn around and talk about Rachel's kids.
Feel bad for Rachel's daughter. What a role model.
So overall, after all that drama, Ava still looks safe on the block no matter what, and Kelley still looks to be going home if she does not win that blockbuster. So that is our main storyline for the day, but there are still a couple other things going on around the house that I'll talk about as well. The rivalry between Keanu and Rachel continues to be a roller coaster as they finally sit down and talk about all this drama that's been going on between them. If you missed my last video, please make sure to check that out first because I go over all the details of this Rachel and Keanu beef. But right now, Rachel is still very pissed off because she knows that Keanu has been trying to get her put on the block and evicted this week, and so she's gonna go confront him about it. They are trying to talk it out, but the conversation just can't really go anywhere because Keanu just keeps on lying.
All I did was go in there and tell him, Vin, what you came into this house for was, you can ask him this. What you came into this house for was confidence. So if you make a decision, you need to stand by it. That's what confident people do. That's all I told him. I didn't say, put Rachel on the block, put Ashley on the block, put Will on the block. I didn't tell him any of that. And you can go fucking ask him. That's exactly what I told him.
Mind you, Vince was the one who snitched on Keanu in the first place, but Keanu just refuses to believe that Vince would ever go against him. So instead, Keanu is just so convinced that this is all Morgan's fault. So now Keanu is just trying to play dumb and gaslight Rachel because he believes he can, And all of this, of course, is just going to piss Rachel off even more.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So I don't know what you're thinking. It literally makes absolutely no sense. It's the dumbest move in Big Brother history because pissing me off is the dumbest thing in this house you could have done.
You come for the queen, you're going to get beheaded.
I have tried so many times to advocate for you so that you never went on the block. I didn't put you on the block during my HOH, and I trusted you, and I wanted to work with you. And then you betrayed me, and then you fucking doubled down on it.
Keanu just can't comprehend how Rachel got this information, and Rachel just can't comprehend why Keanu is still trusting Vince so much. This whole conversation is just a hot-ass mess, but I will give Rachel some credit because it does seem like she's maybe making a little bit of progress at least. Because now it seems like Keanu is finally starting to get a little bit wary of Vince, and it looks like he's been trying to smooth things over with Rachel a little bit too, so we're just gonna have to keep our eye on that. These two have been calling themselves the frenemies for the past couple weeks, and honestly, I cannot think of a more aptly named alliance in Big Brother. So that's all I have for today. Of course, I want to know, who do you want to see evicted this week? Let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I'm kind of ready for Kelley to go. I feel like she's had her time, her moment's over, but if Katherine was the one to be evicted, I probably wouldn't be too mad at that one too. Of course, I will be back here sometime on Friday to give you details on who the new HOH of the week is and what their plans are, but until then, bye.